Hello, I'm Alyssa Thompson, and today I'm going to be interviewing Kalia Zhang, and we're going to be talking about social issues around the world, but more specifically, how school affects the mental health of teachers, but mainly students. I would like to spread my message and awareness to teens and teachers around the world, with this being my social issue. I would like to ask, what grade are you in, and do you know your GPA?
I'm currently in the 10th grade. I do know my GPA is currently very low, but I'm trying to get it back up. It's at a 2.8 right now.
How do your grades make you feel as a person, and how do they make you feel overall in general?
My grades affect me a lot. I feel like teachers and other people say that grades don't define who you are or affect you, but to me it does affect me because I feel like I could have done better and I could do better. It's just a letter, but it means so much to me because I feel dumb. If I'm being real, I feel dumb.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely understand what you mean, and I'm sure a lot of students are going through this, not being able to live the life that they want because of their grades. Some not being able to get into the colleges that they want. So many high standards. Most students can't reach those high standards. It's hard for them to reach those high standards. And that's what makes it so hard for students to get these good grades and for students to succeed.
Yep.
Did you know that when students' grades drop, it's hard for them to get those grades back up? This means that low grades can affect kids' performance in school, which causes more stress. Why do you think it's hard for students to get those grades up?
I feel like it's hard for students to get those grades up because when they see a low grade, they think, oh, I could make it up, and then they try to make it up, and turns out to be the same, and then they just lose the motivation to get it back up. Also, me personally, I feel like when my grades drop, I feel like I could get it back up, but as you're trying to get it back up, you just lose all that you have left.
Yeah.
And it just makes it harder for a person to get it back up.
Yeah, I get that. That's currently what I'm going through right now, and mainly my math classes. It's definitely hard for me to get those grades back up. Definitely hard for me to keep the motivation that I had at the beginning of the year to keep these good grades, get straight A's, a 4.0, because that's what is expected of me. As the year continues on and as this year comes to a close, it's definitely getting harder, especially with me having to go to summer school because of these classes. It's killing my motivation and it's killing my confidence in school. It definitely kills my self-esteem, things like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way too.
Yeah. Also, 10 to 20% of children and adolescents have mental health problems of some type. Mental health problems increase the risk of repeating a grade, truancy, and dropping out of school. Do you agree with these statistics?
Yes, I do agree with those statistics. Mental health do really take a lot from a person. Even if they're trying their hardest, something inside them just tells them to shut it off, and then they just go into a state of like depression or having a lot of anxiety or other mental health that there are.
Yeah. I understand that, and with these ongoing mental health issues, it's definitely hard for students to succeed in school because of these mental health issues. And then when you go to school, it's like just piling on and on and on. It's hard for these students to get the life that they want and have the relationships that they want to have because school is steering away from that life that they want. Another question for you is, do you think of yourself as less than others when you hear others' grades and like when you compare your grades to other people's?
Yes, I do think myself as less than others because I kind of envy them. Truthfully, I do try my best and try to get the best grade possible. When students when other students and we compare grades, I feel like, oh, mine is really low and theirs is really high, and I wish I could do better as them. But I'm also still like learning these new things, like criterias in these subjects, and
I do agree with that, and I think all staff and all teachers and school districts in general, they have to understand that a lot of students learn slower than other students. I believe that students should get the more help that they need, especially if they don't have the money for a tutor, or if they don't have the money for extra schooling, extra teaching, extra help. I think school districts should be aware that, you know, some students learn slower than others, and they also need to be accounted for. This really goes into like your self-image, the way you look at yourself. It definitely plays a part in that area. I did a study of how school affects people's mental health and ability to learn. Studies show that 9 out of 10 students believe that getting up so early in the morning, 5 out of 7 days of the week, as well as trying to balance grades and relationships in school, negatively affect their mental health. Do you agree with this?
Yes, I do agree with studies, because I'm personally in clubs, and like with clubs and extracurriculums, stay after school and like have them after school. So I'm often after school till like 5:30, 6 at night. And then when I get home, I just feel so drained from like all the clubs activity. And then I just don't have motivation to do work, like schoolwork, and to catch up on like homework and stuff.
I did research and found that 8 out of 10 teachers become stressed when they have to grade assignments, especially when the assignments are due by a certain time. Do you think this affects their mental health as well?
Yes, I do think that grading assignments and getting stuff done by a certain time do mentally drain teachers also.
Yeah, I get that. I do think that teachers are drained. Yeah. Thank you so much for answering my questions and talking with me today. This concludes our interview.
Yeah, of course. Oh my god.